again. Woo! So cheers, everybody. Cheers. How's everybody doing?
Clink.
Fantastic.
Great. As good as we can be, I guess.
So Cierra, you're actually the person who introduced me to this show and made me fall in love with it. And I know that you love it, and I know you saw it up in New York, I believe. So tell me about this show, about why you love it, and why you were so insistent on making me fall in love with it too.
Well, first of all, Deena, but I thought it was so interesting that they took this like little simple idea of like small choice and made it into this, big musical. It's like that's not an original storyline, but the way they did it was, and I think that it was really interesting, and it had all the music, and it was very next to normal, so that's why we were. And yeah, it was who did you play? Who were you in our cast? I played Elena. I had to think about that. Almost forgot her name.
That one?
I played Elena. Beth's assistant. Beth. I'm in Buffalo. Yep.
So this show, when you saw it on Broadway, was it confusing?
Yes.
I catching up at intermission, but no, I'm kidding. They did a good job at explaining it to us, but it was it was fully paying attention, or you were gonna miss it.
Yeah, I know that we had a lot of people that kind of got lost a little bit. We tried to keep everybody on track. I think we did a pretty good job. I only had a few people that were like, I'm really confused. Most people were like, I was a little confused, but then I got it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're going to be confused in every number.
As long as you keep it as long as you keep it blatantly obvious. Like when I saw it on tour with Anthony Rapp and Jackie Burns, and it was the lights completely changed from two completely opposite colors every single time the stories changed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we did that too, didn't we, Lauren? I think it was like blue and orange.
Yes, It was blue and orange. And that was, I think this show had 370 light cues in it or something absolutely crazy. Had more light cues than, and most shows at the theater have around 200 or a little under. So this show had, every time somebody walked on stage, the lights changed color to try to make sure that everybody was following. So I know that was a big point. Hello, Tim. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How's everybody doing?
What you drinking? I feel like you have
I was drinking wine, but this is bourbon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah, it's like the typical Wednesday, or what day is it? Sorry.
Thursday? Is it Thursday?
Thursday,
yeah. Tim, I know that you have an absolutely insane, crazy schedule, and I know it's even busier now because you have additions to the family that you didn't have when we did this show.
That's right.
So tell me what it's like being somebody who's working a crazy job, traveling, and then you're also finding time to do theater. How do you find time to do it, and why? What makes you want to do it?
Oh, well, normally, because we're not traveling now, obviously, like anyone, but so normally, it's like anybody, it's like all of us, right? It's kind of not really a choice. You kind of need it. It's like your lifeblood. So it is crazy. I think for If Then, it might have been If Then, I think. I think I was going to be in Boston Monday, Tuesday, and then Miami Wednesday, Thursday. I landed in Philly at 6 p.m. to go for a callback for an audition there, and then flew out.
Yeah.
That
was crazy. I remember you flew home from somewhere to come to the audition, and then you left.
Yeah, so it's actually, it's it doesn't matter what you do. I think it's I think you're exhausted during the process, and then, sometimes you question what you're doing, your sanity. But then by the time we all open up, I think everyone's this is amazing, and I can't wait to do it again. And then you miss it, and then you figure out a way to do it again. And then the first month, you're I hate this. And then by the time you start the show, you're I love this. So I think it's not really a choice. I think as crazy as it is to do whatever job you do and a show at the same time, I think in some ironic way, it actually makes it easier, it balances you. So that's how I've kind of always viewed it. Unfortunately, it's been a couple years for me since I've done anything. But I can't wait, whenever that is.
Was this the last thing you did?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. All So if people don't know, Chris came in and covered for Tim because Tim's so busy and he couldn't make one of the shows. And Chris came in and yeah, he is. Don't ever work with him. No, just kidding. Chris came in and I remember you came into like 2 rehearsals and you learned the entire track. I've never ever seen somebody do that. Like, it was insane. How did you do that?
I've seen that. Chris is awesome.
Baby.
For Chris, I want to point out, I want to give Chris some props because I had been rehearsing for like a month and a half and still knew like 10% of my lines. And Chris showed up. He's like, "Oh, I'll give it a shot," and he came in and knew the whole thing.
He knew everything. Yeah,
everything.
I don't know how he did that, but he literally knew everything. Oh wait, hold on, I got it.
But yeah, I mean, it was a crazy experience. It's a show that I really didn't know much about, except for the music before I jumped on board. And to be quite honest, I still don't know that much about it because I think I was so involved. It was such a unique show to do that with because I'm only in one world of the show. So I still don't know anything about the other world. And I'm looking forward to actually either seeing or doing this show. Because I was supposed to come back to closing night and I was unable to do that. I had a family emergency, but so I haven't actually seen the whole thing straight through or experienced the whole thing straight through, other than like the bits and pieces that I knew I had to learn and figure out how to plug myself into. But I think it was a unique show to do that with because there are so many different separate worlds that there's just so much going on that you just kind of have to roll with it. And thank you guys for, making that as easy as possible because there was always somebody there like pushing me in the right direction when I knew I needed to be somewhere other than where it was. And props to Danielle too, because she did the same thing and then had to carry the rest of the run. So
True, very true. Yeah. So, well, kudos to you, Chris. You're awesome. Like,
But what if I had been in that part a day later, or had gone with Lucas, or if I hadn't stopped to listen to that guy playing guitar?
Here's how it starts, and here's how it ends. 2 different parts, maybe lovers or friends. Somehow the world turns inside out and then. What if you wonder, what if?
Do I go there with Lucas, or stay here with Kate? Oh God, why do I do this obsess-ended fate? I've been prudent and cautious for all my life long. Most of my choices turned out to be wrong.
Once every day, your life starts again. No one can say just how or just when. Somehow the world turns inside out and then.
You wonder what
Danielle, you also joined us late in the run. And I know that you had to learn a lot. And I think you came in Tuesday of Tech. And I think it was Tuesday of Tech because you won't answer my phone call Tuesday of Tech anymore. So tell me about that experience and how did you do that? Like, what was it like opening weekend? Because you had only learned like for 2 days.
Nothing. So I get this call on Tuesday of Lawrence Tech, and I knew immediately that something was wrong. So when she called me, she called. I was like, I ain't answering. I can't do it right now. And I just kept working. And then she called me again. I was like, she's okay. And then she texted me and was like, I need you to call me immediately. And so I'm like, what? And she was like, oh, it's not a lot. You don't have to learn a lot. It's a smaller part. It's easy. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I talked to my mom, who's my boss. So she's like, just leave, go, do what you need to do, whatever, go help your friend. And so I get to the theater and Scott is showing me the script and everything. And he was like, he's looking and he's like, okay, you're in this, and then 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 you're in this. I'm like,
I think the end of the night you literally told me you hated me.
Yeah, I was like, Lauren, you said this was a small part. This girl got 2 big songs.
I lied. Wait, I didn't say it was a small part. I said that it wasn't. No, that's a lie.
You can handle it.
You said it was not a lot.
I lied.
And it was a lot, okay? It was not a lot, and it was a lot. And I just remember like walking in like, okay, so thank God that, you know, I have cool bosses who are my parents. And they're like, hey, we believe in theater, so go ahead and do this. But I still did not know like any of those lines. I still don't know the show. And I just remember sitting backstage and being like, is it done yet? Like, are we over? Like, I'm over it.
Well, it was over 3 hours, wasn't it? Or was
Yeah,
it
I didn't know who Beth and Liz were. I couldn't remember my name.
Don't forget about Elizabeth. There's 3 of them.
Well, is there? Are you lying?
Oh, it's Beth, Elizabeth, and Liz.
See? There y'all go. I'll figure it out.
Oh.
She couldn't even tell if you were serious or not.
Wait, Tim is like, wait, I get it now.
Yeah. And thank God for like Jill, because Jill was like literally like pushing me, like, you know, you go here. I was
do
like,
that like the first run. After that, I got this. You know where to go.
listen, it helped though. So I mean, I probably should have tried to learn my lines that next weekend, but I was so tired. Like I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Did a great job. I really I knew that you didn't know some stuff, and I knew that we had some like cheated things in there. We did, but like I wouldn't have known if I was in the ensemble. If I was in the audience, I wouldn't have known.
I remember going to sleep with the music in my ears. So, like,
right?
Well, I'll tell
And
you.
I told all of my family members that you had just learned that like 3 days before opening night, 2 days, they were all like,
Well, I'm pretty sure that the first night we did the run through and you sang It's a Sign and we all just like fell on the floor. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, she's got this. She's good. She'll figure it out.
Honestly, without the lesbian part, like Kate is like literally me. I'm super sassy. And and I don't mind being sassy.
Teaches children.
Yeah, I mean, I teach kids, so for me, it wasn't hard. Like Kate's character itself was not hard. So it was just about like being able to belt and sing some songs, and you know, and I had fun singing that song with Jill every night. Like that was fun.
Yo, that song was powerhouse. Like literally powerhouse. This whole show, all of you like vocally were insane good.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a cast of leads by
no, I'm
far.
not.
So Nicolette, I think that you were a part of one of the best moments in the entire show. So can you talk to us about the intern scene, and can you talk about your prep work behind that and how you got into character?
So, I would put on my dress, and then I had this solitaire app that I literally played every day. So I would wait until the show to like get my crown, because you get a crown every day that you play and like win the deal. So I would sit backstage and I would start playing it, because I didn't want to just be starting a fresh game on stage, because that's too chaotic. So I would start it early. And then I'd be on stage and I'd be playing it, and then I just had to keep reminding myself, like, you can't talk unless it's a question. So that's what I would say. And then I would watch Deena get changed and be like, okay, the dress still isn't on yet. I said all my lines.
Inside out.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to keep going. This solitaire game is still going. I'm gonna talk to John. We're gonna keep, and Deena's looking at me like, and I'm like,
so the first night that happened during tech, right?
no,
I think the first time that
during tech, she was perfectly fine getting her clothes on. It was when the shows actually happened, when stuff started.
So it happened once. Deena got like stuck in her dress, or it was like inside out or something, and she couldn't make the entrance in time. So John, who played Steven, and Nicolette started improvising this scene, and Nicolette just started talking about how she was playing solitaire on her phone and how she was like a beast at solitaire, and everything she said was in question in response to him.
I'm
and
winning?
I didn't tell them this till after the run, but I told what? Yeah, solitaire?
Solitaire?
Yeah. I didn't tell them this till after the run, but I told Deena after it happened the first time to wait every night and make them improv on stage, because it was so funny, and I just wanted to see what they did every day, but I didn't tell them. So every day Deena would wait a minute or two before she went out, and it was golden. I believe you're an award winner for that scene.
Yes, I am. I have the Julie
Award winner
of the year for
Julie Award. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Benjamin. Are you paying attention now, Benjamin?
All right, yes, I'm paying attention.
With your tunny haircut. You have such a tunny haircut.
I know.
Now I have,
Army. Ew.
now I have a funny haircut.
So Benjamin, the first show that you did at the theater was American Idiot, where you got to be a rock star and, you know, go crazy. And then, so you got cast in this show, and what was your character in this show?
Yup.
He doesn't know. You don't know your character?
No, I was,
I've already said it in this Zoom. I said it to you already.
I was sexy guitar guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Literally, that was your character name. So,
Nobody seen.
like legitimate. You opened the show. You started the show. Well, wait, Deena had a line, but you started vocally. You started the show.
Yeah.
So, so do you think that that's like your do you think that's like where you fit? You're the sexy guitar guy. Is that the roles that you aspire to do? Sexy guitar guy. You want to be rock star.
Yeah. I like.
It was a question. It was like Nicolette.
Yeah.
Ben's like, yeah, I'm a rock star.
Right.
Done.
No, I don't know. I like playing different characters. I played all kinds of different characters throughout, and I don't think I've ever specifically liked one specific type. You know what I mean? Like one specific type of character. Like I was mayor of Munchkin Land when I did Wizard of Oz in high school, so it's like, and I loved that. But like,
Love everything about that.
yeah, like it's ridiculous.
Wait, so Ben, I know that I know you worked really hard on the dances in this show. So tell me
on every dance in every show.
Well, I know, but I feel
Because
like
I can't dance.
I feel like you worked extra hard in this show because there was a lot of like formations and movement things. It wasn't like dancing. It was a lot of like fluid, like flowing from one scene to the next. So tell me about your journey with the dancing in this show.
My journey?
Your journey.
Look, here's the thing. I enjoy dancing. The truth is, I have a hard time with it. I really do. Buddy, stop looking at me like that. I love dancing. I really do. I'm just not good at it, but I push as best as I can to do the best that I can with it. You know what I mean? Even if I turn right instead of
You've always had the right dream. We've always been a tight team. Now the last you're back exactly where you're meant to be. So let's make a map of New York, you and me. Every avenue and place, every building, every face, all the lovers and the friends will be getting to the end. Make a map of NYC where I live. I'll be. And you'll find it. And you'll know. We never want to stay home. As long as we can stay here at home.
You played a Lucas in the show, who was played by Anthony Rapp. So I know that you actually are friends with Anthony or have worked with him before. So I know that you reached out to him about this character.
I did.
Okay.
He, Anthony Rapp's a really cool guy, and he really stuck through it throughout the really sort of long touring schedule of this show. It had two branches. It did like a major East Coast, sort of middle of the country tour, and then it paused for a bit. And then we thought that they were going to recast most people, but he stayed on, and he ended up doing out in California and all that. But while he was doing the show, he also was working on some kind of a documentary series with his significant other, so he was pretty busy while If Them was going on. But he did make some time to send some encouraging words, which was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ryan, I know that you did a lot of work on this show behind the scenes. I know that you helped with a lot of like amazing prop pieces that got special lighting.
Oh, that old thing?
Yeah, I tried to find some lights and string some lights on it before so that it had special lighting behind me, but I couldn't find anything that quick. But yeah, so tell me about this city model. How long did it take you to make this?
So
we will insert a photo too so you can see up close that there's literally miniature trees and painted sand and grass. So
If Then, for
Phenomenal.
reasons, is a strange, unique show, but one of them is that it's super modern. It takes place in ultra cool New York City, and it's about an architect, which is, not a regular occurrence. So that is a prop that really needs to be made anytime anyone does this show, which bless your soul if you take this. It is a lot. But yeah, I made that model. It took a while. I did like maybe 1 or 2 buildings a day. Put them all together. It's a lot of foam and masking tape, but it was fun. It became really therapeutic. And yes, there are trees and water and all the things that no one ever saw.
No one.
I knew they were there, and I'm not even in that scene. So
no. Well, it was in multiple scenes because I said this took forever, and it's going in every scene that we can put it in, and it had its own light cubes. This thing had
my
its own
character was not an architect, so I was never in a scene that involved that building. But I hope the actors that looked at it got some inspiration from it and felt like, wow.
Well, I'm just letting you know, I've held on to it for almost 2 years, a year and a half, and I think that she might be going to rest after this. But I did, hold on, pause. I will be right back. I'm gonna grab something really fast.
I think it needs to be auctioned off to the highest bidder in this.
Okay, so I was like, I want to record a video with this thing, and I want to incorporate King Kong into it. So we're gonna have a great video of like some close-up King Kong like climbing the building. Hello, PJ. Where are you?
Hi.
Okay,
I'm here.
Okay, all right. Sorry, you like moved on my screen. So PJ, the audience probably may not have seen this, but we had like a little inside thing going with your character. You had a lot of character development on your character. And we decided that every single scene you were going to be eating a sandwich. So tell me what it was like also working with Denise, who literally was like, I'll make you whatever sandwich you want. Denise, our wonderful prop woman. Like, tell me about the sandwich. Just go sandwich.
It was delicious. The sandwich was actually the most delicious thing that I think I've ever eaten in my life. It was a nice white bread and lettuce sandwich. So it was beautiful.
PJ being like, this is actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Well,
great.
I remember the first thing you asked for was peanut butter, and I was like, PJ, you're singing a song while you're eating this, so.
Yeah, listen, it takes true talent to be able to eat and sing without dying.
And dance. And you had dance, too.
Well, yeah. No,
Especially peanut butter.
think the sandwich was cool. I got to eat. That was awesome. I think my character, the construction worker, was, very close to who I really am.
But
Very
I think,
straight.
PJ, I think there was another character that was you to a T.
The waiter.
Because you got to play a couple fun characters.
Yeah, the
So,
waiter. He was definitely me.
Tell me about the waiter who had one line that was probably one of the most. One line? Was it 2 lines? 1 line?
Don't take away my 2 lines, Lauren. I had 2.
Can't remember.
I had 2. It was like
It was a great scene.
yeah, it was like Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And then like
2
bourbon on the
words.
rocks or something. Yeah, something like that. That was fun.
Bourbon on the rocks for the lady.
Yeah.
Chardonnay.
Miss Deena, who was a minor part in the show. She wasn't really on stage that much, and I
Made
don't
the
think
most out of it.
I think she sang like half a song, but she was a presence. So So Deena, I've worked with you numerous times. I love working with you. You're amazing to work with, and you always give such like insane talent on stage. Like I can't even express how amazing. I can't imagine doing this part. I know it was extremely stressful for you, and it was like can't blame you, because how do you keep like all of that like in your head and making sense? So what was it like playing pretty much like 3 different characters? I know a lot was Liz and Beth, but you also had Elizabeth in there at the end. And what was it like doing that? And how did you go about finding like each character's own identity?
I don't know. To be honest, it was crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever done.
And I'm gonna put on the glasses while you're talking. Go ahead.
Like, to sing that much and have that many costume changes and to be involved in that many storylines is just nuts. You know, it's just nuts. It's unlike anything I've ever done. It's unlike anything I'll ever do again. And you know, the role is for like an aging woman, a woman pushing 40, and like this is like something a young girl should be doing. And to be like 38 and keeping your voice healthy enough to do all this stuff and pull it off and make it sound good, and then not flip out on people, you know,
Black boots. That's all I can say.
You handled it.
Where are the boots?
I'll never forget. It was
Zipper
like
on the side.
it was like Tech Week, and I think we were going through some of like your light cues for one of the big songs. I think it was like Always Starting Over. Or no, it was that I Hate You song, that stupid lightning and I Hate You song. I remember you got really, really like upset because it was just frustrating. It was a lot. I get it. And I just remember Laurie came up to me and she was like, Lauren, what is your lead? And this role is hard. You need to comfort her. And I was like, she's got this. I know she's got it. It's stressful, but you knocked this role out of the park. I don't think that this show should really be done by community theaters. I think it's so big and it's so overwhelming. And I think that this cast was amazing. I was very like gifted to get all the people that were in this, as well as you, Deena. I mean, you led this cast and you were amazing in this role. So kudos to you, Deena. It was really like, I can't.
Oh, it's like you do all these little roles, and like then Diana and Next to Normal was like a big role, and I thought that was it. I was like, I don't have to do anything else again. Diana.
And then I called you and was like, hey, Deena, what you doing?
You know, so I couldn't have done Elizabeth if I didn't do Diana first, you know, to learn like the vocal stamina, you know.
Yeah, this role is, I mean, it's written for Deena, who's insane, so it's definitely a very hard role. So, Deena, if you had to pick one life, Liz or Beth, what one would you choose?
Choose wisely.
Stop and think and try to remember.
All right, so Beth, you're alone for the rest of your life, but you're rich. And Liz, you have, wait, no, he dies. Oh my God, wait, I'm so confused.
Yeah, but that might be better when it's me.
Oh yeah.
But one of the lives.
But wait.
So.
It's Beth.
But you meet Josh in Beth.
Wait, what happens?
Lauren, take another drink.
Beth killed the baby.
Oh my nigga!
I forgot that there was children. I just literally remembered that there was children. This show was so complicated.
So what is your answer, Deena?
I would always pick family life over having like, you know, a successful career. I'd like to have both, and I like to think that in my real life I have both. But I mean, I'm like,
well, you do.
I don't make six figures, but I have stability. But I definitely wouldn't trade my family life for having 6+ figures. You know?
I would.
Liz, and she tossed her amazing assistant to the side.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's all about the assistant.
Best life.
I'm just kidding. I love you so much.
But I'm telling you, like the last day when I sang, what's that last song? Always Starting Over.
Yeah.
I like, sang the last note. I was literally like, this can't do that anymore.
Do we all have steam? Everybody have steam?
Oh yeah, you guys all have those steamers.
Yeah, we had the steamers. Yeah.
I didn't have steam for this
steam.
What do you mean, you guys? Don't you have one too?
Who?
Lauren.
Me? Oh, I have one now. Yeah, I bought one this year.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Sierra. Sierra's taking credit for the steamers. She's taking credit for the choice of the show.
What is she drinking?
A bottle of wine out of a glass.
Fine.
It's the wine talking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Buddy,
it was a bottle.
Her one-liners are iconic.
If I'm a drunkard or a dullard, too callous or too clever, or if I might just be the man who's meant to be with you. Ain't no man Manhattan, no island all his own, on Roosevelt or Staten, ain't none of us alone. Your actions, my reactions, in ways you won't expect. We're all in this together, yeah, we all connect.
What the fuck? See tonight. There's a chance it can all be alright.
You're excused to take a sick day when the forecast calls for sun.
I won't go
Let's bring Buddy in.
Yeah, you know what? Here, Buddy.
Buddy.
So, Buddy, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna make you talk.
For reference, it's this guy.
So, Buddy, we were like the dream team. I love working with you on sound stuff. So you did all the sound, and you're the only person I will ever call to do sound. If I don't do my own sound, I call you because you're amazing. And I love being back there with you because it's like fun. Like sometimes it's really fun, and then sometimes like things go wrong, and I like sit there and cry for an hour, and you just come, you just like put your arm on my shoulder, and you're like, "It's all good," and I'm like, "It's not all good," but you kept me really calm, and I loved being back there with you. So like, what's the experience like from being off stage, like being on the tech side?
It was hard, man. There's like 30 people in this cast.
20, but close.
I mean, I don't know, whatever. But no, it was okay. It was good. It was definitely more than the other one, just because I had to mix more things and worry about all your projections that you made me do and all that stuff. No, but luckily with this, like with the two lives, there were people just that were on stage on each other, so it wasn't too bad because you can have like two groups of people like on the soundboard and stuff like that. So it wasn't too bad. It was definitely more challenging than like next to normal.
Wait, what song was the hardest? Intermission song at the end of Act 1. The song at the end of Act 1.
I think Map of New York was the hardest song.
Because we were all at the top of the thing, because the sound was harder, and it was everybody singing like at each other.
I always thought Map of New York was the hardest song because there was just so many like people coming in and out with little like soul.
Which
that
one?
was my hardest song when I had to do it by myself. Map of New York.
Isn't there like 5 parts to that?
Yeah, I'm talking
What If.
like the whole song. No, there was
Wait, that
5
was the
parts to
song.
both of them.
No, I know What If had like 900 parts. I hated that song.
Right?
What, Map of New York?
John sang a lot in that song.
Yes. And every time he started singing, we were just like,
yeah, anytime I get to mix John, I'm a happy man.
John's voice is just like
butter. Like it's not human. Hi, Phil. So we have worked together on multiple different like platforms. Yeah, but we're always doing different things when we work together. Like we're most times not on the performing side, but sometimes we are. And like, I mean, tech stuff. Like we do tech stuff together and whatnot. So this show, I know that you don't usually do musicals. So this was something like you don't do a lot of musicals, right? You do more plays.
No, not anymore. No.
So, not old. Shut up. So what was it like jumping into a musical again and having to like learn some choreo and all that fun stuff? Tell me about that.
It was awful. I said, Lauren, take me out of every dance if you can.
But you did it. You did it to Sign, didn't you? Is that the one you did? You did it to Sign.
Sure, I didn't know what I was doing in any of that.
Hey, you got it. You figured it out. You did a good job.
I stood in the back. No, and then I had you take me out of like everything of the
Map of New York.
Map of New York. I was like, no, thank you. I hated every moment of it. But no, it was fun. Although you made me go in the heights, and I don't like doing that. So that was cool.
Oh yeah, that was scary for everybody when we had to go up on that platform. That was the first time we ever did that at the theater. I was like, I want to try something new. I want to have a platform up there, but I don't want anything underneath. So we had to have all that like steel enforcement to hold. I guess there was like 20 of you, I think, up on that platform.
Yeah, at one point the entire cast was up there, right?
Yeah. I think. Can we talk about the ice cream scene?
Sure. I don't remember any of the hard words that I said because I could barely get them out of my mouth.
You said something about like don't eat ice cream because you're gonna have like projectile diarrhea or something like that. And it was like a first date, and that's what you were saying to her, like don't eat the ice cream.
I kept requesting real ice cream, but Denise said there's no freezer. So
yeah, not backstage.
We had this weird. First she tried like shampoo or something. It was weird, and then it was foam, I think, at the very end.
I thought she didn't do instant mashed potatoes. I thought she did instant mashed potatoes. That's what she usually does for ice cream.
No, not at that time. I think I had foam because it wasn't the mashed potatoes because Deena had to get rid of it.
Oh, right. She had to like put it in a cup.
But all I remember is I would literally say my line like 7 times off stage just to make sure I could say the word.
Yeah, because it was like some big like.
It was some weird things. I think Ben
term.
was backstage and I was like, Ben, I don't know this line.
Yeah, it was like a medical term. Like, yeah, I can't remember.
I don't remember what it was.
I can't remember, but it was like projectile diarrhea pretty much.
Yep.
Like, so,
and Deena just would look at me and go, okay.
So, Genevieve, this was the first time I got to work with you, but I like have known who you were for a really long time, and I know that you had taken kind of a break from theater. So, this show I think was your first show in like a while, right?
It was, yeah.
So, what was it like diving back in, not only to like a show, but like a show that was so confusing and like all over the place? Like, tell me about like that experience.
It was great. It was a welcome, get back to theater kind of a thing. I was itching to get back, and I knew who was in the cast already because I was the latecomer to the group, and I loved half the people and worked with half the people already, so I knew it was going to be a good time. But it was great. I knew nothing of the show when I decided to, get on board. But I learned it fast. I caught up on it, and I loved it. I just loved like the whole concept of it. I loved the music. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun.
So, do you think you have the bug now? Because I know that you've done other shows since it then. So do you think you're like diving back in? You want to get back into all the crazy theater world? A little bit here and there, maybe?
Yeah, oh, of course. I always love to jump in. I mean, it's hard with kids and everything, and schedules normally, I'm busy running the sports, watching my kids at sports and everything else. So it's kind of hectic, but I just love it. So I don't think I'll ever like completely retire from it.
Yeah, I think theater, like anybody that does theater, like it draws you back in like constantly. You can't really like escape it. I don't think it's. Is Ryan on a phone call right now while we're doing this?
Yeah, he's completely drawn in.
No, listen, I'm a businessman. I got business.
I just looked up and I was like, Ryan is literally sitting on the phone.
Was my name Genevieve is a superstar. I need to throw that out there for everyone to see.
She is.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Stunningly
It's great
beautiful
to work with.
and insanely talented.
I promise, kid, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Some other me's a rock star. Some other me's still cool. Hey, I'll be the best worst thing better than I'll be the best worst mistake.
Wasted time. So you always say it's time for me to have a failure. You did it, I knew you when you asshole, I hate you, I totally blame you, and really, how could you?
Every night when Denny would end, like the show's ending, he'd come over to me, Ben, Nicolette, and Cierra, because they were the groupie band. We're all in the band. He'd come over and say the most inappropriate things to us, and we would not help but laugh. And I was like, Denny, I have a line to sing in 2 seconds. What are you doing?
No, stop. Stop. The
Denny
best
play
one.
your husband?
Like the very best one was when he came up to us and he goes, "Go Birds." He just walked away.
He's just, oh my gosh. We didn't even get, he's not here, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but like we had to teach Denny how to ride a bike for this role. It was serious.
Shoot.
First time.
We brought
Forgot
that
about that.
bicycle in. Well, okay, so all right, let me say this. He's not even here, so he can't defend himself, so I feel bad. But at the same time, he like told me he had never ridden a bike. So we were like, I remember Phil, me, Ryan, like we were like, okay, we're gonna teach you how to ride a bike. We brought a bicycle in and like had him on it, and then he rode it, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I may have rode one like once, but like, and I'm like, so you have been on a bike.
In fairness, it was my like little
Fire.
It was. You brought like a smaller bike for him to.
My favorite part is that Jill brought a bike in and she doesn't know how to ride a bike.
I do now.
Well, now you do.
That's actually is.
So that's
it's
another
my
story for
house.
another time.
That's the bike we use. My dad made it into a table.
I love that. I love that though. That's awesome.
Yes, I love your dad.
And so Jill, actually, so hi Jill.
Hi.
Jill, you got to sing one of like the most like rock powerhouse songs in the show with Danielle. It was like amazing to hear you girls sing that every night. And I know that you both have worked together before, but it had been like a few years. So we had Oda Mae and Molly back together singing again. So let's talk about like that song. Like what was it like singing that? And also obviously you had Danielle come in the last minute and you guys clicked instantly. So it was great. You had like the chemistry on stage and you really bonded, which was awesome. Tell me about like this role and like what your favorite part about this role was.
I mean, like you mentioned that song, that's pretty much why I was like, I really want to do this show because I really want to sing that song. I love the music. But yeah, it was really fun to like figure out where I was and who I was, because all the things every single thing I was in was with Danielle. Like every single line I had was to her, with her. So it was really fun to work with her again. But it was like fun because every single song that I was part of, it would be like, okay, we're in Beth's world. Now we're in this world. So I always had to be like, wait, do I like Ryan's character now? Are we friends? Are Danielle and I supposed to be fighting right now? Like,
You actually should have always liked Ryan's character.
Oh my God, Lucas was just
really didn't like you in one world. I forget which one.
I know you guys definitely had tension.
It was whichever world you did that thing in.
The straight world.
Sure.
That's world, yeah. That's
Really the
Beth's world.
Like I didn't, but like my character was pretty much the same, so I didn't have too much switching back and forth. It was just like minor how I felt about the two of them, really. Really, it was whether I was just with Danielle or if we were like a group of friends or not. Pretty much.
Tell me about the bridesmaid dresses. What was the journey for finding those bridesmaid dresses? Ryan, I think you can chime in here a little. You tried on like 30 different dresses, didn't you?
There was a lot of journeys because first we were looking for with a different person. But yes, I did try on a lot of brides' dresses.
Lauren and I went on many a thrift store journey looking for pink, purple, orange.
Oh yeah, I got a million texts from Lauren during that whole process. She was like, "What size are you? Which size do you think you'll fit in this one?"
I know. I was sending like pictures.
We raided all of Philadelphia and South Jersey for those things.
Everywhere.
A dress that I had in my closet that we used.
Yeah, and that dress that was on me was too small or too big something. I don't know. We just
Bless this mess.
If I ever had to be thrown into a show the last minute ever again, I would want Jill as my scene partner. But she was.
Well, ditto.
I hate
Anyway,
you.
another reason the
You
show
a danger girl.
it was really fun to work with John. We hadn't been in a show together for like 10 years. We've directed them together and he's directed me, but we haven't been in one together since like college, like 10 years ago. So it was really fun to be on stage with him again. It was also amazing
I agree.
the quartet with Deena and Cierra also.
That song was so good.
Harmony.
I just want to say that the Ghost video that the Grand has posted with Jill is out of this world. It sounds like a recording.
I know, they sound great.
Jill's the first one to sing on it, and for like a while I really thought it was like a cast album from the Broadway, and then Broadway.
So, Tom, this was your first show at the theater, and I personally am like very thankful that you were suggested to be in this show because obviously I became really good friends with you. But you've gone on to do some amazing like shows, and I think like you're kind of like stuck with us a lot. But I know that you always tell me that this was your favorite show that you did so far at the Grand and that you love it. And I know that you love that wedding song that I absolutely hate. And we always joke about it.
Because I was in it.
Wait, so I want to just say something about the wedding song. It's my favorite song, but I also just want to mention I actually attended this wedding as a guest, unlike at Cierra's, I wasn't.
No, technically you were not invited to our wedding.
We're not going to work Cierra's wedding.
Yeah, so did I. We bartended. So I know that you love this show a lot, and I know that you had a lot of fun doing it. So tell me why I know you've done like 4 shows. Is it 4 shows now? 3, 4. 4. So you've done 4. Why does this one stick out so much to you, and why do you love this one so much?
So this show, I originally wasn't gonna say yeah. Ben actually hit me up and was like, hey, they're looking for somebody who can sing and dance, and I didn't suggest you, but I figured I would ask you anyways. And I was like, oh, thanks, Ben. And then I was like, let me think about it, because I was actually getting surgery right beforehand on my stomach just to get some stuff taken care of. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a show. And I don't know. It was a good time. I got to do it with my best friend Ben at the time. I'm not friends anymore. And then we drove together. I mean, Ben and I would sit in traffic for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and just sing songs together.
Can we just talk about the time that we sat in way too much traffic and both had to pee like halfway through?
Yes, and then we got in the theater, and Lauren and Buddy were like
really pushing everyone out of the way.
They were concerned for us. I was like, yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, you ran in the bathroom and ran out to the lobby to use the toilet.
I don't think I even said hi to anybody.
No.
But I don't know, getting to do the show with Ben was great, because Ben and I hadn't done a show since 2015, and that was my graduating year at college, so I hadn't done a show for a little bit with him. So I was excited to do a show with one of my best friends from college. And then, I don't know, I had a good time. I liked the idea of a confusing show. I got to dance, I got to sing again, and then I got to be the favorite tenor. Of course, why wouldn't I love being the favorited? Duh.
Of course.
And I think you were front row for the dances for this.
I was just saying, and then I knocked PJ out again and was like, I'm in the front next to Cierra. Ew.
Honey, it's okay. You can knock me out for dancing. I was on Deena's left.
But then, let's mention, I got to go on a date with Deena, which made it my other favorite, because I was the nerdy guy who wanted vaudeville.
It was better.
Erotic vaudeville, and Deena was like, I'm not having it.
Well, Tom, you're always a joy to have on stage. Like, your energy is something I love that you bring to every single cast. That even if like stuff is like, I didn't know you that well during this show, and you were just like a bubbly burst of energy, and I know that the show was really stressful, and there was times where like we all wanted to kill each other, and I know that you were just this like annoying, bubbly Energizer bunny that like was just an amazing person to have around during all that stress. So
And brought chicken.
And you fed us, so yeah, so
Except
like
Cierra, she wouldn't eat the chicken.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cast him.
Oh, I'm not.
And because she's not important there.
Oh my god. But no, we loved having you in the show, Tom, and you've been in every show with me since, so obviously you're
What would you do if you could do it all over? What would you do if you could start it all new? Always starting over every life we live, and we're always just a week every step we take, and we're choosing everything changes. And you wonder what
Hi, Steven.
Hello.
Hey,
How are
hey,
you, Lauren?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just fine.
So, Steven, I know that you actually were another person who really liked the show before you auditioned, right? Wasn't this a show that you were like a big fan of?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't.
Oh,
I saw it. I saw it on tour, and my sister was a big fan. She saw it on Broadway with the original cast, and then she forced me to go see it on tour. And it took me a couple of months after I saw it on tour to really turn around to it. I listened to the album a couple of times, and I was like, this is a genius show. And the way it's written and the way it was staged, I couldn't stop looking up bootlegs. There's no good bootlegs. But yeah, and then I saw that they were doing it, and I thought, this is the area premiere of this show, so why not audition for it? And also, I had done a show at the Grand before in the winter spot, so keep the streak going, I guess.
Yeah, Billy Elliot, right? That was the only one you did before, right?
Yep. I've done 3 shows at the Grand, and they were all in the winter spot.
What did you do after If Then? What was the last show you just did?
Into the Woods.
I knew you were the baker, right?
I was.
You were awesome.
So
Thank you.
It was great. I love
Yes.
having you. You also have a voice that people don't know how crazy good your voice is. I remember you singing at an If Then cast party, and you sang some tenor song, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, where
I
did you
think-
come from, Steven?
I specifically remember this one moment during the Billy Elliot cast party where I sang For Forever from
Yes.
Jordan Hansen.
Maybe it was Billy Elliot. Maybe it was
I think that's what it was,
Yeah.
but I love singing. I'm taking voice lessons now. You know, when you can't do anything, try to better yourself. So I'm taking steps to better my performing skills and my voice and all that.
Well, that's awesome. Hi, Jennie. Jennie, what time is it right now? Where are you and what time is it?
It is 8:42 in the morning in Bangkok, Thailand.
Girl from us.
And yes, I
said
am drinking palm wine.
Yes.
Live your best
Hey.
life.
Yes, Jennie.
9:30 somewhere.
Wait, hang on. Jennie, because she's on her phone. Jennie, find Tom and look at Tom's photo.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God. When you took that photo, I couldn't love you anymore. I was so happy that you got that. It's just like, I don't know, I was a spider monkey during that whole show.
So, Jennie, I know that after this show, it was right after this show that you moved, right?
I moved Christmas Eve.
Okay, so but it was like a month after. We did this in October, right? Yeah, so it was like a month, 2 months after.
November.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
about
yeah.
a month after. Yeah, that If Then was my last show in the States. And I knew it was going to be. So when I was choosing, I had 2 other offers, like a play and another musical. I can't even think of the name of it. But I was like, no, I love the Grand, but mostly because you were directing it. I was like, yeah, this is going to be so much better. And I don't regret it. This was like the best cast that I could have done, like my last show in the States, because I've had some shows here too.
But yeah, no, I loved having you in it, Jennie, and I'm so happy that you're like thriving out in Thailand and you love it and you're still there. So you've been there for like a year and a half, and that's awesome. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's fun. I do miss like coming to see all the shows though. I mean, when there were shows, I've been watching everybody. I got a couple of people sending me like rehearsal videos and stuff so I could watch some of you guys and the shows you were doing. You guys didn't know. But I had to find a way somehow. And I still, I actually bring this show into talking with other artists here, and I talk about this cast a lot. And, you know, they asked me like who I played. I was like, well, you know, Lauren made me the notorious New York yoga girl because that's what I am for life, apparently.
I think everybody was like almost like perfectly typecast in this show a little bit. Like not perfectly, but like everybody just like gelled into their parts like really well.
Yeah, the sex addicted crack addict is definitely my typecast.
Is that your character? Wait a minute, what?
Yes, I was the mayor, remember? And I got busted with
the
2
mayor
hookers and a bowl of
doesn't-
coke.
The mayor doesn't count. I didn't mean that. I just mean when you're in your like New York City people. Like I feel like
I
you
got
are
you,
all
I
very
got
much
you.
like very much your own selves, which is really
Construction
cool. I PJ, I knew you were gonna be the one to say something, and that's why I said almost all of you.
I
because
loved
you-
him. I loved him.
But you rocked that overall look.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What was your biggest challenge directing If Then, and don't say using the lights to separate the stories? Not that I don't think that's a huge challenge, but it's a safe answer, and I expect more out of your intelligent brain.
Oh my
No
God.
pressure.
I love that you asked me at the end after I've drank all this wine. Yeah, I think that like, so it really was challenging just conveying this story and making people want to love both. And like, I think that was like the hardest thing, because like when you have two different worlds, you want to make sure that the audience is like following each one and like loving each one, so that they're like, in the end, you want to have them on the edge of their seat when they're choosing. I do think the hardest challenge was making the audience understand that it was two worlds. So not the lights, but just in general, like knowing that it was two separate lives. That was like going into the show, the biggest thing that I said. I wanted to make sure that we were slapping people in the face with that, because it's a beautiful story, but if you don't understand it, you won't get it, and then you'll lose the beauty all in it. So I think this show gives us the biggest question in life, and it's the what if, and you never know the answer to like if you would have picked a different path. And I just think that this show is like, it's the hardest show I've ever directed, hands down. It was the most involved, set, costumes, props, everything. I don't think any of you could walk backstage. Like, I think you were climbing over props and set pieces to get on the stage. So it was a lot. It was a huge challenge doing all of that. I remember being there till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, like the day before we opened, finishing projections and painting last minute things. So, but it was worth it. It was amazing. I think this show was one of the best shows the Grand will ever have.
Lauren, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I had a couple of friends come to see it who were Broadway aficionados who have seen it then 100 times on tour and on Broadway. And they said that your choreography on the chairs for The Moment Explodes was the coolest thing they had ever seen. Yeah. And better than what they did on Broadway.
So guys, last question I want to ask. This one's short and sweet, so try to keep it like simple. But one of my favorite rehearsals that we had was the night that I brought, I think it was mostly the ensemble, but I brought everybody in and we sat down for an hour and we talked about the show and we talked about the whole meaning of what if and what that means to everybody. Did you have a moment in your life where like, you know, you made a huge decision that your life could be completely different now had you made a different one? And I think that's like such an important thing with this show. It's obviously the theme around everything. It's that not knowing. So I want you to tell me in one word what this show meant to you, or the experience, or your character, just one word to sum up the whole show. Did you say?
Deena.
Mind-numbing.
Interesting. It's thought-provoking.
Confusion.
A whirlwind.
Probably stress.
Decision. That's it. Decision. That's my word.
This is really a challenge.
Say the word is quick.
Yeah. Complete.
There you go.
Complete is my word.
Story, I'd say beautiful.
A lot. That's 2 words.
That's 2 words.
I'm gonna use the word adaptive.
I'm gonna say emotional, and I don't want to say that in a bad way. I think this show took all of us on so many different journeys. Like, all of us had a different experience with this show because it was so big and so over the top. And I know that there was times where I couldn't handle it, and I know that there was times where every person in this cast broke down because it was just so big. But I think all those moments made it that much more beautiful of a show, and we all kind of came together as a cast and told like a really good story. So I think the emotion that went behind the show really led it and took everybody on a journey. So I'm gonna use a big one. It was a heavy one. It was a lot.
Yeah, that was really hard. It was a long show. No, wait, sorry to interrupt. I apologize. I'm not being dumb. Listen, let me just say, we had a lot of good times backstage.
Suburban.
But it was it's suburban. But listen, we would be backstage and we were like, this show is long. But every time we would listen, Deena would be singing on stage. Like, she was always on stage.
I never realized how long the show was because I was just so busy.
She was just always singing.
It felt like an hour to me, you know?
She was there the whole time. That's all I got. Sorry.
Oh my God. Thank you for your commentary, Timothy.
You're welcome.
It's great talking with all you guys. And here's to the next time that we can all be on stage together.